Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Mike. Well, I recently made a video called Can Americans Collect Their Social Security Benefits Here in the Philippines? Now, if you watch that video, or if you're a retired American living in the Philippines, you already know the answer. There were 2 comments with some very good questions. Why were they good questions? Because I didn't know the answers until I did some digging. This should be an interesting Q&A video. Okay, let's get right into the first comment with 3 questions made by Al. Here is what Al said. Thank you for sharing your insights about Social Security. I have a few questions, if I may. I live in California and retired 3 years ago. I filed for Social Security benefits when I turned 65 and a half. My full retirement age for Social Security is 67 and a half. I have decided to retire permanently in the Philippines. My question for you is this. If I decide to move to the Philippines to retire, should I give up my Medicare Parts A, B, and C? Currently, Medicare Parts B and C are being deducted from our monthly Social Security benefits. Did you inform the Social Security Department that you are now living in the Philippines? And did you give them your Philippine address? Or are you using a U.S. address? My follow-up question from question number 2 is, since you are now living in the Philippines and your Social Security benefits are being directly deposited into your U.S. bank account, did you have to change the address on your U.S. bank account to reflect your residence in the Philippines? How does that work? So personally, I haven't applied for Medicare because it doesn't work outside of the U.S. It's entirely up to you if you decide to give up your A, B, and C Medicare, but my question is, if you do end up moving to the Philippines, then why would you keep Medicare since it doesn't work outside of the U.S.? I pulled up some other information about Medicare. Part A is for hospital insurance. For most people, it's free because you paid into the system during your working years. Part B covers doctor visits, outpatient care, and medical supplies. This one costs money each month, and the premium is usually deducted straight from your Social Security. Part C is also known as Medicare Advantage, is an alternative to traditional Medicare. These plans often include extras like vision or dental, but they also come with their own monthly premiums and a network of providers. As I mentioned earlier, Medicare in almost all cases does not cover medical treatment outside the United States. That means that if you're in the Philippines and you get sick, you're paying out of pocket or using local insurance, not Medicare. So the logical question is, why would you keep paying Medicare if you can't use it in the Philippines? Let's start with Part A. Since it's free, there's no reason to give it up. Keep it. For Part B, this is where it gets tricky. If you drop it, you'll save money each month, sure. But if you ever decide to move back to the U.S. or even spend extended time there, you'll face stiff penalties to re-enroll. Medicare will permanently increase your premium for every year that you went without coverage. That can get very expensive very quickly. Part C, the Advantage plans, only make sense if you're actually living in the U.S. full-time. If you're permanently in the Philippines, you won't be able to use the network of doctors or hospitals. In this case, many retirees choose to cancel Part C to stop wasting money. So before making a decision, ask yourself these questions. Am I moving to the Philippines permanently, or do I plan to spend part of the year in the U.S.? If you'll be back in the U.S. often, keeping Part B and maybe Part C makes sense. Here's another question that you can ask yourself. Do I have local insurance in the Philippines? Many expats buy PhilHealth or private insurance in the Philippines and use Medicare only when back in the States. Another question that you can ask yourself, am I okay paying higher premiums later? Dropping Part B will save you money now, but it can cost you much more if you return to the United States. Roger commented, wanting to know if you could collect Social Security disability insurance while living in the Philippines. So let's dive into Roger's question. Can an American collect SSDI and live in the Philippines? The short answer is yes, but there are some important details you need to know before you pack your bags and book that one-way ticket. So let's break it all down. First off, SSDI is different from SSI. SSDI, again, stands for Social Security Disability Insurance. It's a benefit that you paid into through your work history, just like retirement Social Security. If you worked long enough and paid Social Security taxes, you can qualify if you become disabled before retirement age. SSI, or Supplemental Security Income, is based on financial need and is not funded by your work history. That distinction matters because SSI does not follow you overseas, but SSDI often does. So here's the good news. If you're an American citizen, you can usually continue to collect your SSDI payments no matter where you live in the world, including the Philippines. Your monthly benefit can be deposited directly into your U.S. bank account, and from there, you can withdraw your money using ATMs here. The Social Security Administration has agreements with many countries, including the Philippines, to ensure benefits keep flowing. In fact, thousands of Americans are already living here comfortably on their SSDI benefits. Now, there are 4 important restrictions that you're going to want to know about. Number 1, length of stay abroad. If you leave the U.S. for more than 30 days, Social Security considers you to be living abroad. That doesn't stop your payments, but it does change how they track you. Number 2, citizenship matters. U.S. citizens usually have no problem receiving SSDI overseas. But if you're not a U.S. citizen, or if you earn your benefits under special agreements, the rules can get complicated. Number 3, regular check-ins. Social Security may ask you to fill out periodic forms to confirm that you're still alive and eligible. Sometimes they'll even require you to visit the U.S. Embassy in Manila for verification. If you ignore these requests, your payments could be suspended. Number 4, dependents and family benefits. If your children or spouse receive SSDI benefits under your record, whether they can collect overseas depends on their citizenship and residency. U.S. citizen dependents usually keep receiving benefits, but foreign-born dependents sometimes face restrictions. So the way that I'm reading those restrictions are that if you're on SSDI and your situation is pretty straightforward, you probably don't have too much to be concerned about. But if your situation is more complicated, it might be money well spent if you consult with an attorney. Here are a few practical things to keep in mind if you're planning on collecting SSDI while living in the Philippines. Banking. Keep a U.S. bank account open. Direct deposits are the safest way to get at your money. Taxes. Your SSDI may be taxable depending on your overall income, so keep records and talk with a tax professional. Healthcare. Medicare doesn't cover you overseas. You'll need local insurance like PhilHealth or a private plan. Staying legal. Make sure your visa status in the Philippines is in order. SSDI is not tied to visas. so you don't want immigration issues affecting your life here. So can you collect your SSDI and live in the Philippines? For most U.S. citizens, the answer is a big yes. Your payments will keep coming. You can live comfortably here, and thousands of retirees and disabled Americans already do. Just remember the differences between SSDI and SSI. Stay on top of Social Security requirements and make sure that you've got your health care covered. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more expat living tips, and drop a comment below if you're thinking about moving here to the Philippines on SSDI. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.